welcome along to Football Thunders with me, Pete Finch, Ryan Scott and Dan Finch. Brought to you by Let Us Talk, mental health charity. And of course, Ryan, do you want to tell us about the charity you're involved with?
The Proper Blokes Club, walking and talking for men's mental health. Go to www.theproperblokesclub.co.uk to check out your local walk and talk.
Excellent. First football pod of the new season, the 2022-23 season. We're starting early because we're going to sort of build up to the season. Today we're going to look at the Premier League clubs, some of the signings they made, good and bad. And also we're specifically looking at, say, the top six, and we're going to each pick a team that we think could get relegated, but we're not going to pick the obvious ones, which would be Forest, Bournemouth or Fulham. We're not allowed to pick any of them. We've got to pick a Premier League team that we think could go down this year. Where do we want to start, boys? Is there any specific place you would like to start? Dan?
I think we should start at the top, work the way to the bottom.
Go on, and so we start with Man
so I'm
City.
I'm assuming the top will start at City. I mean,
Okay.
the one area people said they needed to improve, they've done it slightly.
Haven't they just? Their signings, let's read Erling Haaland for 51 million, which I think in this day and age is an absolute steal.
I've heard that he's quite good. I mean, it's a rumour.
Can we talk about the fee though? Are fees becoming more realistic? Because at 51.3 million is not bad for. That's a bit of a bargain, surely.
But that's because of
Contract.
the German league and the contract and the way deals are structured in Germany, whereas in England it's kind of gung ho. You've got to throw money in Europe. You can get deals done across Europe for relatively cheap prices.
Whereas in England, you're paying £45 million for Calvin Phillips
and 100 for Jack Grealish.
I think the other thing that helps is employment laws in Europe. They have to have minimum fee release clauses. Part of employment law there.
Do they?
It's not here.
Yeah.
So that's why you get. If you look at someone like Barcelona or for something, they've just renewed someone's contract and they put in £1 billion release clause so that no one's ever going to meet it.
The other signing from Man City, I know nothing about, Stefan Ortega from Armenia Bielefeld on a free. Anyone know anything about him?
Goalkeeper,
No.
I think.
He's only there to sit on the bench, though, isn't he? Realistically,
Yeah, because they've had Scott Carson, haven't they? They've had Richard Wright at one stage.
They've still got Scott Carson.
Yeah, he keeps picking up Premier League medals and he's never touching the ball. Amazing.
He's played once, in fairness.
Has he played once? Their outgoings, Sterling went to Chelsea, Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal. Those are the big ones, I think. And Fernandinho has gone. Fernandinho was... well, have they replaced him with Calvin Phillips? Because if they have, that just doesn't seem right to me. What do we think?
They replaced him with Rodri and kind of had Fernandinho backing up Rodri, and then now see he's moved on. Rodri will just have the role, and then they'll probably rotate Calvin Phillips in with Rodri rather than rotate Fernandinho in.
And of those three, Haaland is be interesting to see how he does on the Premier League. I don't doubt that he'll have a decent season. What do we think?
I'm interested by his fitness.
To live up to the Premier League standards.
He's struggled to keep fit's the wrong word. He has been quite. He's missed a lot of games in recent years. I think he averages like 25 games a year playing in the Bundesliga. So if he comes to the Premier League, the football's different. Is he still going to be able to hack a season? Is injuries going to worsen like Aguero's did? Are they on for another Aguero, a great player, but maybe can't stay for the full season?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's no doubt about his footballing credentials, is there?
No. I mean, look at his goal record for Salzburg, for Dortmund, and for Norway. It's incredible.
Yeah.
How will it look in England? I don't think it will be as good, but I still think it will be impressive.
Okay.
I'm interested to see how he's going to fit in, how he's going to do in a completely different style of football, because he was very much playing on the shoulder in Germany of the last defender, and it was about his explosive pace, getting him beyond the defence and scoring goals. That's not going to be the case at Manchester City. As we've seen with Jack Grealish, he has got to get accustomed with a completely different, intricate style of passing. So it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Man City's first big man in a while, isn't he? I think he's like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
Is he? I didn't realise.
Yeah,
that.
he's
Up front,
massive.
yeah, he is huge. He is a big lump of knowledge.
Who was Man City's last big man? Dzeko?
I think it was
Possibly,
Edin Dzeko, yeah. Up
I think the problem for him is he's had like that massive growth spurt, and now he's kind of getting all the growing pains at one time. So sort of like hit 21, his body stopped, and now all the growing pains have caught up with him, and that's why he's having so many muscle injuries.
I think he's going to struggle for me as far as his haircut's concerned. He needs to sort that out. That's a mess to me.
I don't mean to sound horrible, but he reminds me of a caveman. He looks very Neanderthal.
Well, there is that, and and a little bunny thing at the back. No, stop it. Just either cut your hair or grow it. Do something with it. Either wear an Alice band or something, or just get it cut.
Can we talk about Raheem Sterling going to Chelsea?
Well, I was coming to that.
See that one at all?
I saw him leaving because I think the writing was on the wall as soon as they signed Erling Haaland. I think.
I actually think the writing was on the wall when they signed Jack Grealish.
Yeah, but I mean, they've rotated. You know, he didn't get a huge amount of games. He was on the bench a lot, Raheem Sterling, last season, and I think it was an obvious move. Raheem Sterling's thinking about the World Cup coming up in November, and wants to be playing first team football. Dan, what do you think?
I think for Chelsea, I actually think it's a very good move. The price tag genuinely surprised me that it was as low as it was. I expect. I think it was 40, ended to be 45 plus.
There we go, another year left on his contract, so that takes
yeah,
quite
but
a
still,
few.
even then, like I thought they'd probably get some more. I thought Sterling was going, but I genuinely was convinced he was going to go abroad. I thought maybe Madrid or Bayern would pick him up. See, then Bayern picked up signed Mane, and it didn't really leave Sterling with many options. But I think Chelsea probably is a good fit for him.
Jesus to Arsenal. What do we think of that one?
I like that for Arsenal.
I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see where they play him because he told the Brazilian coach that he wants to play on the wing.
Yeah.
But then has moved to Arsenal, where I'm assuming he'll play through the middle. So,
because they've got nobody else, have they? Really?
So what he said for Brazil, he wants to play through the. I wonder what the difference is with why he would want to play wide for Brazil, but not necessarily, or is it just to get into the Brazil squad?
Yeah.
All I can say is I've seen some of Arsenal's stuff in pre-season, and if it's a pattern, what he does is he picks the ball up in the centre, takes it wide right, and then everybody else moves into the space that he's left.
Charge!
So
Bundle!
that might be how that's just what I've noticed so far in the pre-season.
Okay.
So
Yeah, he's not Miles Lieburn, is he?
We'll see. But
So
he's a good finisher. I'll give him that. When he does,
He's a very good finisher.
now there is. I mean, they've lost Fernandinho, but there's nobody else that big
he was
that they've
39.
lost.
It's not going to be a big loss. No disrespect to him, but his
I loved him.
best days were a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
And he didn't feature as much. As I said, Rodri was the starting deep man. So.
Right, let's move on to the team that were runners up last year, and that's Liverpool. Let's.
Hey?
No, yeah, Chelsea.
Calm down.
Is it Chelsea or Liverpool?
No, it's Liverpool.
Liverpool.
It is Liverpool. I was right. Yeah, Liverpool.
Sadio Mane.
Let's talk about. Yeah, they've got 3 incomings at the moment,
Aye.
but it's their outgoings that make interesting reading. Sadio Mane's gone to Bayern Munich for 28.8. That's the big. I mean, Divock Origi's left on a free. Loris Karius has released on a free, and no one's picked him up yet. And I'm not surprised because he can't even pick himself up without dropping himself.
Can't pick a ball up.
Have you seen him though? Have you seen his body transformation?
Oh, Loris.
Loris Karius has spent the last 2 years in the gym.
Has
He's
he?
fucking huge. He's still shit keeper, but he's just massive now.
Is he a shitter keeper, just massive?
Yeah, and he covers more of the goal now.
Now, I mean, you look at they've had the famous 3 up front, which has been it was until this season Firmino, Mane, and Salah. I think Firmino spent a lot of time on the bench last season, didn't he?
They prefer Jota.
And now Mane's gone, and in his place they signed. I mean, it's Darwin Nunes. Is that going to change the way they play?
No, but he looks a lot like Andy Carroll.
Yeah, let's not try and go down that route because we all know what happened with Andy Carroll.
But he's also the same height as Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit more mobile and a bit fitter than Andy Carroll, though.
Andy Carroll, when he was fit, was a handful of a player, a beast of a player. just couldn't stay fit. That was the problem for Andy Carroll, sadly, because he was justifiably in the England squad. And an absolute.
He went to
Steroids.
Did he go to the Euros in 2016
I'm trying to think. I
or the
can't
World
remember.
Cup in Brazil or both?
He might have done one of them. I'm not sure, but he was when fit. But Andy Carroll, when fit, was a very, very good player. But Darwin Nunes, I've not seen much of him. Dan and Ryan, it's over to you two about Darwin. What do we know?
He's a goal scorer. He's still only young, but he scored a lot of goals out in Portugal.
Yeah.
And Liverpool, to be fair to them, they don't seem to get many transfers wrong these days. You look at Luis Diaz, who came over from Porto in January, and he's made the Premier League look like it's a piece of cake. So I would expect very much the same from Darwin Nunes. I'm actually interested to see Fabio Carvalho, who's coming from Fulham, because everyone seems to rate him really highly. So I want to see. He's obviously one for the future.
What position does Fabio play? Is he one of those front three
Tucks
guys
it behind
as
the striker.
Yeah.
He's in the hole.
I think he will end up playing for Liverpool wide because they don't really play with a 10.
He's going to say he's a number 10, is he?
Well, he took the piss out of the Championship last year, frankly. You know, he was he 18 and scored 10 goals in the Championship from midfield. Like,
That is for 18.
you've got something about you if you can do that.
Yeah, that is taking the.
And I think they only paid, was it $5 million because his contract was coming to the end.
Well, they've sold him for 5.3, haven't they? Yeah, he's gone for Liverpool for 5.3. Calvin Ramsey of Aberdeen, isn't he? Is he not a right back? Isn't he?
He's an
He's
FM.
a young right back. They've sold Nico Williams to Nottingham Forest.
They have, who's just not going to make the grade. I think that's what they're thinking.
I quite like Nico Williams.
I think he was all right, but I just don't think he was.
What happened to him last year? Because the year before he kind of broke into the team when there was.
I think
I didn't hear his name mentioned
last year.
Ah.
But then again, when you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold in front of you, you're not going to get much of a look in.
I mean, that is his problem, isn't it? Really, that's going to be anyone's problem. That's going to.
By the way, Joe Gomez signed a new long-term deal.
Yeah, that's
What's
upsetting.
he playing at?
That's upsetting because Charlton are on to a big payday if Liverpool sell him.
I think you'll find that a lot of players are going to be earning a bit more dollar at Liverpool now because they've had a very heavily structured wage structure for a while. They haven't gone above a certain price, a certain weekly wage.
Do you think? Because
Mohamed Salah has now broken that weekly wage, and
Yeah, he's got up to 300, isn't he?
I think everybody's going to be knocking on the door, going, "Excuse me."
my thing with Gomez is he keeps missing out on finals of championships because he's injured. He's now been injury free. Can't get in the Liverpool side, so he can't get in the England side. If he wants to go to the World Cup, he needs to be playing first team football.
He's not going to the World Cup.
I was dreaming of a Ezri Konsa, Joe Gomez, centre back pairing at Aston Villa.
I'd rather have Joe Gomez playing him than Harry Maguire, in all honesty.
I'd rather have Fikayo Tomori than either of them.
There is that as well. But Gomez, on his day...
Can we have Tomori and Gomez instead?
Yeah. I just think if he's got England ambitions, he doesn't need to be sitting on the bench at Anfield.
Well, clearly he doesn't.
Even Divock Origi got fed up of it and left this time. So,
Oh, big Divo.
according to the Liverpool fans, it ain't football without Divock.
So let's move on from Liverpool. Chelsea, so far, it's their income is Raheem Sterling for 47 million. Before we've talked briefly about Raheem, but their summer sales as such. The defence has gone missing, hasn't it? Part of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Danny Drinkwater's available now. So
I was about to say.
Danny Drinkwater has been stealing a living at Chelsea on 110 grand a week.
Did he actually play for them?
Yeah, he did, about a handful of games. It's not a lot.
And he's also gone on TV and complained about it.
Do you remember when he signed? Everyone was just, "What's he doing?"
I was mystified because they signed the wrong player for me.
Yeah, but they've got a habit of signing crap. They signed bloody Ross Barkley.
There's also talk about
He's still
N'Golo
there.
Kante could go.
Yeah, I heard that the other day.
Welcome to Manchester, N'Golo Kante.
Man City don't want him.
You
I'll
wish.
take him, quite happily.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also welcome at the Valley.
So Rudiger's gone to Real Madrid. Christensen's gone to Barcelona.
But it might not actually go through at Barcelona because they can't afford to register him at the moment.
So he might. But he's out of contract anyway, isn't he?
He'll just be sitting there.
He's signed a
scratching his arse.
contract, but under the laws of the Spanish league, they're not allowed to pay him until he's registered.
Oh, right, and they can't
register him at the moment. They've just had to sell more of their TV rights to another company abroad, so they've got the money to register.
I mean,
I just into the Bayern Munich manager, was director. Is it not Olivier Kahn?
Yeah.
Someone
Kahn, yeah.
in a press conference, someone asked him, "What do you think of Barcelona's like long-term ambitions?" And he said they won't be a club in 2 years.
Well, if they carry on like that, there is a chance they could be liquidated. But I think Goldman Sachs gets the rights to Barcelona if they forfeit on the debt.
And of course, with Chelsea, let's look at their other outgoing, Romelu Lukaku. Let's leave Ryan with that one because you can start on that one, Ryan. Go on.
What? I don't. It was the most bizarre signing. I think it's like the third time he's been back there or something, and he's never done well when he's been there. I don't understand why they brought him back from Inter Milan.
Well,
never understood it.
Yeah.
I understood it, and then I don't understand why. If you're going to bring him back, then play to his strengths.
He has done well everywhere. Within reason, he's done well everywhere except for at Chelsea. And if you're doing so well at Inter Milan, why would you possibly want to leave? And even
Money.
Yeah, but even he came out.
Money, not just wages, signing on fee. Money.
To be fair, that press conference Lukaku gave, not press conference, the interview he did with the Milan press in like February.
Yeah.
That, apart from Lawrence Bassini trying to have a go at Simon Jordan, that is my other favourite moment of this year.
I've missed the Lukaku press conference. What happened?
He just basically sat in front of a reporter and said, "I didn't want to leave. I was made. I
love
leave.
Inter.
Oh,
right. I love Italy. I want to go. I will definitely go back one day."
Yeah, no, it's not as good.
And then it was like, I can't work out why the Chelsea fans don't like me.
I don't think it's a patch on the Bassini Jordan. Even Jim White was stunned with what was going on with that press conference.
Yeah, but Jim White, I mean, come on.
No, Jim White usually sides with the person who's on the phone. Even on this occasion, he was exasperated by Bassini's bollocks.
Jim White is a cock.
But there is that Jim White is a cock. And as is Simon Jordan, though he does talk a bit of sense from time to time.
Every now and then Simon Jordan says something that makes sense.
Yeah, every now and again.
Going back to Chelsea, though, haven't they just signed Kalidou Koulibaly? Or
yes.
He's having his medical.
He's having his medical, isn't he?
Tonight.
That's one down then.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just get the option to re-sign for Kayo Tomori. I think there's an option in the Milan deal. I would have just done that.
Who knows?
Maybe it's in the pipeline too. They need another one.
Who knows? Because we've got till the end of August, haven't we? Is it the end of August or is it the start of the season now?
No, end of August.
They need to do something because, like, they keep producing these young talents and flogging them off everywhere, and these young talents seem to be really good. I mean, look what Mark Gurley's done at Crystal Palace. And now they've just lost their central defenders.
I tell you who Chelsea have got is Conor Gallagher. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how he's used this year.
On the bench.
Yeah, he's probably going back out on loan, I'd imagine, to be honest.
Do you reckon?
He's not going to start.
Jorginho and N'Golo Kante, you've got... Who else we talk about? Kovacic, who's a very good player. Then you've got...
Barkley.
Yeah, he's not a very good player.
But he has been. They have been playing him.
You got Mr. Loftus-Cheeky. They seem to keep pushing
Mount.
him no matter how hard he shits to bed. So
Mason Mount, yep.
I can't see Conor as much as it pains me because I really like Conor Gallagher. Again, welcome to Old Trafford, but I can't see him getting in the team. Just can't see it.
Their back three at the minute is probably Trevor Chalobah, Thiago Silva,
and Malanga Sarr.
Yeah, I think that's all they've got. Well, it will be Koulibaly.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because who's the other one that's just leaving? Is it Levy Colwell?
Levy Colwell's in the process of leaving. Yeah.
And he's like supposed to be like the next Fabio Tomori.
Now I did see them. There's some talk that they were looking at trying to get Nathan Ake from Man City, who is a former Chelsea youth player.
Like I said, didn't they sell him to Man City in the first?
Yeah, first time I saw him
was
in the FA Youth Cup game against Charlton, and he played in the game when Gomez was playing. and he stood out because of his hair. But he was a really good player. But there's talk that Chelsea may be sniffing around him as a signing for the summer.
Yes, because that's what
Just
they do.
go
They
pick
sell
up all
all
of
their
Chelsea's
players.
bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just sell all their young talent and then pay to bring it back a few years later.
But again, as Ryan said, just go get Tomori instead, and leave Nathan Ake there. Don't matter.
Yeah, if you get tomorrow, you don't need. Yeah, problem solved. Let's move on from Chelsea. Spurs, I think, next. Let's guess.
Oh, business.
Yeah, I mean, they've sold Jack Clark, Cameron Carter-Vickers to Celtic, and Bergwijn's gone to Ajax for 28 million. But
Robin bastards.
they've got Clement Lenglet from Barcelona on loan.
Oh, Clement.
Long legs.
Josh Keeley from St Pat's for an undisclosed fee. Fraser Forster as backup, I would see. Yves Bissouma, Richarlison, and the one I like, Ivan Perisic. I know he's getting on a bit, but
Strange looking man,
but knows what he's doing.
The Richarlison one was the deal that really confused me.
60 million's a lot of money.
It's not only that, but for me personally, I know Dan disagrees with me, but I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's better than Son. I don't think he's going to get in ahead of Kane. I don't think he's going to do any better than Kulusevski's already done. So he's got Lucas Moura to contend with, and they paid 60 million.
There was I was reading something.
Filling?
I was reading something yesterday that Conte wants to move Kulusevski into the middle to have him as like the man who goes forward with the ball next to Basuma, which will make room for Richarlison to go wide with Son and Kane through the middle.
That sounds good. Well, what about Perisic?
I don't like that.
Where's Perisic going?
Kulusevski was a winger.
Perisic can play off the left.
So
I wouldn't be shocked if Perisic play as a left wing back.
yeah, okay.
Their best signing for me is Yves Bissouma by a mile. I think he's
Hell yeah. Yves Bissouma's a baller.
Yeah, you're impressed with
And
that.
again, 25 million.
25 million. It's not to be sniffed at, is it?
Absolute bargain, that, because not only is he really good defensively and he reads the game really well, but he's really good with the ball. Really good, massively underrated. I couldn't believe they managed to get him for 25 million quid. I was stunned.
I do need to ask, in what world did Ajax think spending 28 million on Steven Bergwijn was a good move?
They must have had some money burning a hole in their pockets.
If like 13 million, 12 million, I can see it. 28, no.
Look,
what do you
Tottenham
do?
Hotspur have got a history of ripping people off. They've done Man United up a kipper for years. We paid about £18 million for Michael Carrick when he wasn't very good.
That sounds like nothing now, doesn't it? 18
It
million.
does. Berbatov, I think they got 33 million quid out of us on deadline day. So trust me, Tottenham know how to get their money.
Right. Let's move on. So Tottenham have improved themselves significantly, haven't they? Really,
Massively, and it starts with the manager. To be fair.
yeah. Right. Let's look at Arsenal.
By the way, I think Tottenham are definitely in the Champions League next year. Like they'll finish in the top 3.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think fourth place is the one that's up for grabs.
Right. Let's go through.
I'm not sure on Tottenham just because of their defence. It still doesn't fill me with confidence.
I think they're still working on
I
that.
think they're still. Yeah. I mean,
They
we're
need to
not.
hurry up.
I mean, we're not at the end of the. We've still got quite a while to go in the transfer window. A lot happens in the next month or so.
Eric Dier looked really good last year, which I've never thought I'd ever say.
Yeah.
Christian Romero is a good player. They brought in Longley. There's rumours that they're still trying to find another centre back. So
They need fullbacks for me.
well, I think they're
Definitely a right
quite
back.
happy with. Well, they're getting Jed Spence, aren't they?
Well,
He'll
they're
probably
supposed to
be
have,
there.
but that was a deal they should have locked up weeks ago, and it's still not happened.
And then at left wing back, he seems to have a preference for Ryan Sessegnon, who ended the season really strongly. So
I prefer his brother. Better player.
me too.
Much better player.
Just because he plays for Charlton, apparently.
He's on loan. He's on loan. No bias here. Arsenal. Next, they've signed Matt Turner from New England for 5.7 million.
Goalkeeper.
I know little about Marquinhos from Sao Paulo for 3 million. Anyone know anything?
Bugger all
Yeah,
about
he's
him.
a youngster. He's only about 18, 19
Right.
years old. He's going to be one for a couple of years.
That's the
as well.
standard Arsenal's signing, though. That isn't it? For a cheap youngster.
Yeah, but if they can
Mar-
recreate Martinelli, then why
Yeah,
not?
that's what it is.
Yeah.
He's going to be Martinelli number 2.
Fabio Vieira from Porto.
Baller.
This one I love.
footballer.
So
I
looking forward
I
to
know
seeing
little
him.
about him. Are you telling me he's the dog's danglies?
Yeah,
He's got
I
the
love
potential
him.
to be the dog's danglies.
Uh,
Very
He
cultured,
reminds me of.
very
He
elegant
reminds me of.
midfielder.
He reminds me of. If you liked watching Santi Cazorla at Arsenal, he's not the same player as Santi Cazorla, but he's a very similar technician. I
Yeah.
guess would be the word. I think he could do really good things.
Okay. And Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah,
Jesus.
really like their business. I still think they might need another left back because Kieran Tierney keeps getting injured. I love Kieran Tierney, but he's a walking injury.
The former
at the
Celtic
moment. And
lad.
the other fella, I can't remember his name. Is it Tavares?
Yeah, Nuno Tavares is a walking red
He's
card.
not very good. He's got a lot of talent apparently, but he seems to leave it in the changing rooms.
Okay. So, but Arsenal have improved themselves.
Yes, I would say so. It's going to be interesting to see how their midfield works because they've got a lot of players coming back off loan as well. Guendouzi, Torreira.
Guendouzi's gone.
He's gone.
Is he gone?
Yeah.
To Marseille.
Their outlet. Yeah. Let me give you what Guendouzi's gone to Marseille. Mavropanos has gone to Stuttgart, and Lacazette has gone to Lyon.
Okay. Yeah.
I think with Arsenal, I feel like every year we say, "Oh, Arsenal have improved this summer," and then they still continue to shit the bed. So
I think it's
hard
very
to-
much
again,
a
I think it
building
looks like they've done well, and I look at it and say Arsenal are a better side, and my brain still says they'll finish sixth.
Now,
I think the thing for me, sorry, just quickly, is Arsenal have got a lot of style and a lot of technically good players. They just lack a bit of steel. I think.
I don't know if they've added any still though.
No, that's the thing. They're just signing more and more silky players. They should have gone and got Yves Bissouma for 25 million.
They need a better version of Granit Xhaka.
Well, that's not hard to find.
No, but as in
that style of
Granit
player,
Xhaka's-
but better.
Yeah, just someone who knows what a football is, rather than
Conor Gallagher.
Speaking of another walking red.
Conor Gallagher would be fucking brilliant in that Arsenal team. Just putting it out there.
I think.
But Ryan's already said,
there's quite a few teams that Conor
could
Gallagher
be Old Trafford
do.
round.
They
I
are quite.
love it.
Talking of Old Trafford, Man United. Right, let's go through the list of who's gone first. Dean Henderson's gone to Forest. Dean Henderson's gone to Forest on loan.
Yes.
Juan Mata has been released.
He's going to Leeds, and he supposedly.
Yeah. Jesse Lingard. I don't know what the fuck Witt's doing, but there's talk about him turning up in
Jay
the
Lings.
MLS.
Yes,
What the fuck is he doing?
He's asking for too much money.
He's a
wants
cock.
150 grand a week.
He wants to sabotage his own career by going to the MLS rather than play proper
For
football.
the last 4 years.
He did
been
well at
sitting
West Ham,
Man
to be
United.
fair.
Yeah, he did 6 months.
Too
at
many
West Ham
TikToks.
because he was hoping to get to the Euros. That was all it was. The rest of the time, he sat on his butt.
Did he make it?
I will give
No.
I will give him a pass on the fact that he's had a lot of family problems and he's had to become a guardian for his youngish brother.
Younger brother, yeah.
So there was that, but he spent more time on his off-field ventures, including like a clothing brand that went pop. He's
Like
not
his football
been
career.
professional enough, in my opinion, to do it. So no one's going to touch him with a barge pole, and he's going to end up with Wayne Rooney probably.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Valley. Jesse Lingard.
Right, Edinson Cavani's gone.
Yeah, he was 35.
Bye,
Carroll
you old
was
bastard.
Matic to Roma.
Yeah, tough
See Cavani for more details.
Andreas Pereira to Fulham.
How the fuck did you get money for him?
10
because
million.
he's been doing a good job in Brazil.
And Pogba's gone to Juve for a freebie.
Bye, fuck off.
And rumoured to be out is Jones, Bay, and there's a couple of others, isn't there?
Phil Jones is never going to leave Man United.
No.
Of course he's not. He's on about 140 grand a week. He doesn't
Coming in, Tyrell Malakia.
Malacia.
Some days may be good.
Malakia.
I don't know. Some days may be good. Some days may be shit.
And look, you might as well add Lisandro Martinez to that list as well.
And Frankie de Jong's been agreed, hasn't it? Apparently.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
he's
he's got
not
with
coming.
Barca, but he's
not coming.
he's throwing his toys out the pram. He doesn't want to leave.
He
Barca.
doesn't want to go to
He's
Man
not
United.
throwing his toys out the pram. For one, he doesn't really want to leave because he's happy at Barcelona. Until they said that they wanted to sell him.
Yeah.
And then when he said, I'm not going, they were like, right, well, you need to reduce your contract again because he deferred a lot of his wages while COVID was going on. And he
Yeah.
was like, well, if I'm leaving, you need to give me the 17 million quid that you owe me from my wages that have been deferred. Barcelona are like, well, no, we're not going to do that. So they've asked Manchester United to help out with that payment. And Man United have said, well, no, because we're giving you 68 million quid for him, so pay him out of that. He's not coming to Old Trafford. The backup options, I've been told, are Ruben Neves from Wolves and Yuri Tillemans from Leicester, who they believe they can get for about 35 million quid because he's only got a year left on his deal.
Right. Man United, as it stands, are nowhere near the top 4, are they?
And they won't be. We'll be lucky. We'll be a top 8 side this year.
Okay, that's fine.
But I
One good
will
thing-
say
sorry,
to
I'll-
that. As much,
Sorry, I will just
Go on.
quickly say one good thing is we've actually got a manager who's actually coaching the players on the pitch now, actually on the training pitch. I've seen a lot of video of him training the team, as in actually being there training them, and he's a stickler for detail. The amount of times you hear him shouting at players on the training pitch
you seen that
because they
video
got it
of him
wrong.
bollocking Jadon Sancho?
Yeah, he's like this. We beat Liverpool, a very mixed up Liverpool side, 4-0 in a pre-season friendly, and he came out afterwards and he was like, "I'm not happy. We've made far too many mistakes. We've got too much to do."
Pre-season
This guy
friendly.
is, yeah, but you've just won 4-0,
And he's not happy. Well, you know.
and he's nowhere near happy. I think we're looking at a perfectionist in the mould of Pep Guardiola.
All right, let's see what happens. Well, I mean, I think as long as the club give and the supporters and everyone gives him a bit of time to build what he needs to build, because it isn't going to happen in one transfer window, is it, at Man U?
No,
And if anyone thinks anything otherwise, he's clearly barking mad and needs to give the head a wobble.
So most of the internet then.
Yeah. Let's turn our attention to who we think, other than the teams that have come up. You're not allowed to put the teams that have come up are going to get relegated this year.
Shall I start?
Yeah, go on, Dan.
Brentford.
Brentford. Yep. Why?
Because they lost Christian Eriksen, who I think made a big difference to their style of play. Second season syndrome is always a thing.
Yeah.
I think teams have, towards the back end of the year, have clocked onto their style.
Yeah.
And I don't really like their signings.
Keane Lewis Potter from Hull and Aaron Hickey from Bologna.
Goalkeeper from Lazio.
Is there a goalkeeper?
Yeah, and they signed Thomas Stratoska.
Stratocosta. Yeah.
And they've lost Christian Eriksen, who was their
exactly.
Talisman.
Like, I think they're in a bit of. I don't think they'll. But before beginning of last year, they started really well, and I think that's what ended up keeping them up.
That good start is what.
They had a really bright. They're in the top 10 after quite early on, weren't they? So like, if they don't start well, I could see them slipping off.
Okay.
I agree with Dan.
You going
on
with that one?
I don't think they've signed any quality that will improve them. I think what they've signed is less than what they already had.
Okay, I'm going for a more established Premier League side.
Is it 2 years in a row you're going for the same team?
I'm going for Everton.
Oh.
I just think Everton are going to struggle. I just don't. I don't. They haven't. They've signed Tarkowski on a free. He's okay. It's going to be better than Michael Keane was though towards the end of last season when he was.
What do you mean towards it? Michael Keane is.
I was waiting for this.
It's not just this season. Michael Keane is just knob.
This career has been knob.
Since he's left Burnley, bless him, he was good at Burnley.
Fair, at Burnley, he had a relatively good career, but 3 years at Everton has been atrocious.
Okay, and they've got. I mean, you can see the outgoings. I mean, Richarlison's a big loss, I think. John Joe Kenny's gone to Hertha Berlin. Good on you, John Joe. It's a good, fine
See
side.
you soon, John Joe lad.
Fine German side. The Turkish.
He's done very well in Germany in the past. To be
the Turkish
He's at
lad.
Schalke, isn't he?
Yeah, the Turkish lad's gone. Fabian Delphi spent most of the time on the physio's bench.
He's
didn't he?
old now as well. Must be about 35.
Yeah, 35 isn't old.
He can't be far off that.
But yeah, Andy Lonergan. Yeah, he's been around since day dot.
Andy
He's
Lonergan.
about 40.
Yeah.
He's about 74.
Gilfrey. Well, let's gloss over that
Less
one.
said the better.
And Joao Virginia's gone to SC Canberra on loan. And they've signed Tarkowski so far, and that's it. But, I mean,
Yeah, they're shit.
I actually think the Richarlison sale will actually do them good because I think it means Anthony Gordon starts every single game.
I do like Anthony Gordon.
And he's very, very good. And they've
But
got
Gordon
60
was
million
starting
quid to
every game.
But he was starting every game, wasn't he, towards the back end of
Yeah.
last year?
spend. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's
But
all
the
they've
only
got.
other problem for Everton is they've been found guilty of breaching financial fair play.
So they could be.
Oh yeah, I did read that. But
So-
are they going to get in trouble for it?
Are they going to get an embargo? Because that'd fuck them, really.
Yes, because the way they've done it is
Technical
they didn't
term.
pay their taxes.
That is a highly technical term. If they get an embargo, it'll fuck them. That's
Yep.
highly technical.
From what I've read, they did not pay their taxes, so the HMRC are coming for them, and they've breached financial fair play.
I mean-
they've lost too much money.
If I was an Everton fan, they've had a shit window so far, and so far the only thing that they signed so far is that North Korean player, fucking no one.
Oh,
I'm a
we're
big
gonna
fan
roll
of
that out every
Leicester
year,
City's
aren't we?
transfer business this year.
Go on, take us through it.
They've signed no one and sold no one, so that's it's gone well for Leicester.
Leeds is an interesting one though.
They're my pick to go down.
Well, yeah, I was gonna. It was Leeds or Everton for me, because the amount of players and the quality of players, like Calvin Phillips, they didn't have have him much last season. But Rafinha, that's going to be a huge loss because it's going to have to rely on Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, and he's not going to get supplied by anyone because Rafinha's not there anymore. And neither
I
is
think
Calvin
Leeds will be
Phillips.
fine.
Do you think
And
Leeds
if
will be
you look
fine,
at
Dan?
the signings that they've brought in, none of them have got any Premier League experience at all.
Aronson, Sinistera, Tyler Adams, Christensen two from Salzburg, one from Leipzig, Mark Rocker from Bayern Munich, and Darko Gyabi from Man City, who I've never heard of.
No
I think
Premier
Leeds will
League
be fine.
experience there at all.
Do you know any of these players, like Aronson, Dan, from Salzburg?
Yep, I know.
Tell
I
us
know.
about him.
So I know Luis Sinisterra.
Yeah.
He's a little tricky. He came from Feyenoord. He can play wide or as a 10.
Yeah.
He's
I think he'll probably
Rafinha's
go wide
replacement.
for Leeds. Yeah, I don't know. He's tricky. He might the one that might take a while, but I think there's a bit about him. The one I'm a big fan of is Rasmus Christensen
Go on,
from
Tom.
Salzburg.
Yeah.
He used to play at. I think he was at Leeds before that. He's a Danish left back. He's really good going forward,
Okay.
but he's also quite sharp defensively. So he's a big signing. Tyler Adams, I watched in New York, and then obviously went to
Leipzig.
Leipzig, and a really good price for him. Again, for some reason, Germany do really good deals, and that's 15 million is quite a good deal.
So if you're looking for a bargain, head to Germany. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are our teams so those are our three teams.
But one more. There's one more.
Go on then.
You said them last year, and I'm going to pop them in again this
Southampton
year.
I was considering them, and yeah, I don't want to go for them again because I keep saying them. They keep proving me wrong, bastards.
Southampton's release list they've not lost any big names. Like they lost Shane Long. It's not a loss for
Fraser
anyone.
Foster and Dan Lundunu to Cheltenham and Harry Lewis. No.
But
They're-
inwards, they're signing Gavin Bazanu, who apparently will start for them, who spent last year in League One with Portsmouth.
Romeo
He's very
Lavia.
good.
Romeo Lavia.
I don't know. I will say I watched Gavin Bazanu twice last
I think
season.
their best bit of business, clearly, Joe Aribo. Clearly, without a doubt, clearly. Best bit of business.
And you're not getting any money out of it, Pete. So
No, he's a freak.
No, we're not.
We're not.
But I do like the name of their signing from Bochum, Armel Bella-Kotchap.
That's a great one to have on your shirt, isn't it?
That is quality.
Bell
Ketchup.
Ketchup. I'm glad I'm not a commentator these days because I'd
Sorry,
have a
did you say
terrible
his name
time.
was bottle of ketchup?
Yeah.
Armel
dear Lord.
Bella-Kotchap.
A bottle of ketchup.
Close
yeah.
enough to Armel bottle of ketchup, yeah.
Yeah.
Brighton, for me, I think that there could be a problem because when things went a little bit sour for them last season and it got a bit dull, Yves Bissouma was spurring them on. And,
He's a big loss to them, isn't he?
He's a massive loss. They've only really got two really good players.
And they've
in
spent
Lamptey and they did have Bissouma.
they've
Danny
spent
Welbeck.
17 million on two players so far. Julio in Kaizo and Dizo.
In Cecil.
Ciso and Simon Adingra from.
And they've got
You're having a nightmare with
Benicio
these names,
Baker.
I'm glad I'm not
Boydie?
commentating anymore, Dan. I tell you. Sorry, Ryan.
They've signed someone called Benicio Baker Boiti.
Have they? Oh, Mowiti.
Yeah, from Porto.
I like how you said
Miss
that.
Dynamite. Oh wait, hold on.
Like Waiti. Can we look at? Can we just have a quick look at
No.
Newcastle while we're here?
They've not done
Right.
much.
Yeah,
Yet.
I've looked at them. That's it. Well done.
I think Sven Botman. What do we think of Sven? Sven,
Yeah.
Not
No
got a
idea.
fucking clue who he is.
Sven Botman.
Apparently, he's a Dutch centre half that played in France.
Yes.
That's
But hang
all I
on,
can
let me just
tell
say
you.
to the listeners before we get on to the next two signings, the first one will excite Pete, the second one will excite Ryan. So we'll start with Nick Pope.
Oh, the joy of the 10.3 million means Charlton get £2 million. Not that we spent any of it yet, but there is a.
No, Sangard has put something on that he was interviewed and said it was going to go towards the youth academy
Oh, for fuck's
that
sake.
we bought off Brighton. Oh, sorry, hold on.
Oh, right. We bought it off of Brighton, didn't we?
Brand new youth facility. It's not brand new. We bought
No,
it off Brighton.
we bought all those porter cabins from Brighton, haven't we? That's what we bought. Is that what he spent the money on? The Nick Pope money?
No, that was already there before the Nick Pope money, but he said it's good money to go towards the youth system.
Right, there we go. See, he's not spending a penny.
And
Wanker.
then we move on to, and we'll let
No,
Ryan
no,
go.
no, no, I'm not letting this drop. So he's got £2 million and he's not spending it on players.
I know, apparently we're good up front now because we've
Are
got
we?
3 strikers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thunder cunts. Right, I'm getting fucking salty about this, I tell you. It's just...
Ryan! Matt Target!
Oh, Matt Target. Yeah, that's a good
Yes.
signing. To be fair, that one was a no-brainer. They had him on loan. He did very well
He
for
did.
them, so we'll bring him back. And for 15 million quid,
Not bad
that's
business.
a bloody good deal.
Bloody
I've got
good
to be-
business.
To be fair to Eddie Howe, when he went in there, I said last season I thought he was going to fuck it. But he's brought in
Yeah.
some proper quality Premier League players.
I'm-
He has done exactly what all the other clubs have failed to do. Leeds haven't done it. We were just talking about Brentford.
Brentford.
They haven't brought any Premier League experience in, whereas
a
Eddie
big
Howe
thing.
has done the complete opposite and brought in
Yeah.
2 massively experienced ones
He,
to go with some of the others.
He knew what Eddie Howe. I mean, I admit when Eddie Howe was appointed, I thought Newcastle were on their way out, and I didn't think he'd turn it round. But I mean,
I did.
Yeah, but he has, and he did it without, what's his face? Who got injured? The England lad. Oh Christ.
Trippier, yeah, because when
Yeah.
Trippier went down, that's the moment when I went,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, this is buggered now because Chris Wood ain't going to score you the goals to get out of this mess. But
I forgot he was there.
he took her forward and put him into midfield, and he's just been a revelation. What's his
New
face?
Patrick Vieira.
No. Oh,
Can I just say,
You're talking
on
about
the
Joel Linton.
yeah.
Yeah, he put him in central midfielder and he's turned into fucking Patrick Vieira. It's been ridiculous.
It's just inspired. He's seen something in the player and said, "Listen, mate, you can't
You're
hit a
shit
cow's
up front,
arse with a
play in
banjo.
midfield."
You can clearly not hit a
You're shit
cow's
up
arse with a
front.
banjo. Get in the midfield, boy. Go on."
he sat down on his first day and went, listen, Joel, I like you, nice fella, but you are shit up front.
So I'm putting you in midfield.
But we've
Deal with
spent
it.
40 million, so you're going to have to fucking play somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants you, so play in midfield.
Revitalised them.
Aston Villa, I'm going to be very interested to see because they've spent a bucket load of cash on a bucket load of foreign talent.
Yeah.
And
Again.
I'm not sure. Steven Gerrard just seems to be like, okay, buy.
And if he doesn't get it right, it
And
will
see-
be. If he
Yeah.
doesn't get it
Bye,
right,
bye,
it will
bye.
be bye.
Because they
Bye,
brought
bye.
in Coutinho permanently. He did all right from last season, to be fair.
Kamara.
Boubacar Kamara. Diego Carlos, which is a big one because he was linked to Newcastle
Everyone.
last year.
Robin Olsen
Yeah, he's just a backup keeper. And Ludwig Augustinsson.
from Sevilla on
He'll
Gotta
loan.
back
love that
up.
name.
He'll
Anybody whose name
back
is
up
Ludwig.
Digne.
So, I mean, we've had a good look, and we'll do our
Whoa,
Oh, go on.
We should hit on the Premier League new boys.
All right, then let's go with Fulham first. Bournemouth first. Bournemouth.
Oh, I will quickly tip my hat to Crystal Palace for a really good free transfer signing in Sam
Nah, fuck
Johnston.
'em.
It's not going to fucking happen.
Ah,
Move
fuck
on.
them.
Move on. Hope they get relegated, wankers. Bournemouth. Bournemouth have brought in Joe Rothwell from
Again,
Blackburn.
no bias here.
No, Joe Rothwell on a free from Blackburn and Ryan Fredericks on a free from West Ham.
Going back down again.
So
I think Ryan Fredericks must be parched.
do you reckon?
Well, he was. I don't know. I'm not sure how he shit out the West Ham deal to start with, and he's still in the Premier League.
They've
released for Fulham for being shit and went to West Ham.
But clearly Scott Parker likes him. Players going out. Gavin Kilkenny to Stoke. Gary Cahill released on a free, and Robbie Brady.
Yeah,
Brady went to Preston. He loves it up north.
How do we think Bournemouth are going to do? Struggle?
They're
I think
going
they
down.
are.
Going down.
Right.
Their striker's Dominic Solanke. Move on.
There's no need for that language. Fulham signs Joao Paulinho from Sporting. What do we think of that deal?
Absolute
Baller.
deal.
Not sure how he's gone to Fulham.
Is it a move he's going to regret? Is he going to get sold in January when it's clear they're going down
I think he goes next summer on loan to like Holland.
I think he'll go next summer to a far bigger club.
And Andreas Pereira they've signed as well from Man U.
Yeah, he's either injured or playing in Brazil.
To be fair to Pereira, he's a fantastic technician. I'm just not sure he's got the steel to do it in the Premier League, but he'll get you assists from corners and free kicks.
I've got
very good.
This time last year I had a bet. I went on Twitter and just said I don't know why Norwich are bothering come up the Premier League. They're going straight back down again. And a Norwich fan took me to task, so we had a £50 bet. He paid. He's paid.
Good lad. Fair play to him.
Fair play to him. Good lad. So well done. I'll name him next week. I'll find his name and name him. He's a good lad. There's players going out. Fabio Carvalho to Liverpool. Andre Zambo Anguissa to Napoli.
He was already there.
They've released Cyrus Christie, Fabry, Michael Hector, Alfie Mawson, and have given a free to Jean-Michael Seri.
Oh, Stephen Sessegnon.
And Stephen Sessegnon has gone to Charlton on loan. Wise move.
Club legend already, and better than his brother. He's better than Ryan. That's the song that they're going to sing. Guarantee money.
How do you know he's better than me?
No, it's better than I guarantee, pound to a penny, the North Bank are going to be singing he's better than Ryan. I'm telling you, that's going to happen. Let's move. So,
Forest.
I can't ask a question once we've gone through all three. Nottingham Forest have signed from Union Berlin.
I'm looking forward to you saying this. Go on.
Taiwo Awoniyi.
Oh, that's close enough.
For $8.5 million. Nico Williams, not a bad signing. He's okay. 16 mil.
I mean, I think their best bit of business is quite obvious. It's Dean Henderson.
Hang on. Guian Bianconi from Troyes for $9 million. Musa Nikati from Mainz. He's going to miss the Mainz goal tune. He is. He's going to miss the Mainz goal music. Omar Richards from Bayern Munich.
Back in England.
And
that lasted long.
And the one you like, Dean Henderson from Man United, Dan. You like that on loan?
Well, I mean, Dean Henderson, it's a bit outrageous that he has to drop to a newly promoted club, in my opinion. Again. Ryan, what do you think of their new signings?
They're going back down. They can sign whoever they want. That squad's nowhere near good enough.
Speak your mind, Ryan. Speak your mind.
To stay up. I'm sorry, you can't. I mean, you look at some of the players that they've released. Carl Jenkinson, Gaitan Bong.
That's a great
and
name.
They're the ones not good enough to be there.
Gaitan Bong.
Like, Bong.
By the way, I this morning was doing my fantasy football team.
Go on.
For the season. And clicked on strikers, didn't have a lot of money left.
Did like Lyle Taylor, did you?
The lowest money player available as a striker is Lyle Taylor.
I don't think he'll be in the Premier League come August.
I mean, as much as I dislike him, if he does want to come back and say sorry and play for Charlton...
Nope, he can fuck off. Nope, I don't want him. I don't want him anywhere near the club.
Exclusively here on Football Funders.
I don't want him anywhere near the club. So they've sold Bryce Samba, Tobias Figueiredo, Ethan Horvath, Carl Jenkinson, Gaitan Bong, and Lewis Graban has gone. They've released Lewis Graban, but they've kept Lyle Taylor.
Fucking hell, Graban.
I don't know. I've commentated on him. I know. I got it right.
Yeah, he scored actually against us about 7 times.
Yeah, I know. I probably commentated on that as well. But yeah, Forest straight back down. Right, of the 3 newly promoted teams, who's going to stink the place out?
Stink the Forest.
You think you're all both saying Forest?
Listen, Dean Henderson's going to perform
No.
miracles down there to get
No.
them even closer
Fulham.
to safety.
I think Fulham are going to re-stink.
Yeah, I think Fulham. Because I think Forest will go down.
But with a fight.
They'll look pretty.
And Bournemouth might look pretty, and
Fulham
will stink
Fulham
the
are
place
shit.
out.
Although if Bournemouth go down bottom, I will laugh at Scott Parker for years. Just for the sake of it. So
I think Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth are going to get spanked week in, week out.
I think Fulham are.
In their squad.
I
think will get results because they'll play nice football and they've got good technical players.
I genuinely think Fulham will get spanked.
I don't think Fulham will score goals. That's my problem.
But
I don't think any of them will score goals.
No one's got any. Anyway,
Bournemouth maybe.
Listen, fellas, I think we've done what we can. Can I just say, if you're going to listen to a podcast, Dan discussed it earlier, and I've listened to 4 episodes on and off today. Moment of Truth, where they follow the Rotherham manager, who sounds like a decent fella, and Gobby Scousegit, Carl Robinson.
But he comes off okay.
He does come out okay.
He's a very passionate football man.
And I'll set it up. Rotherham, when we start, are top of the league and gunning for promotion with a 12-point cushion. And I think MK Dons under Robinson are in the playoffs by the skin of the barest of margins.
You've gone back about 10 years.
But it's a good listen, actually. It's very good. And it's warts and all. I mean, the stuff, yeah.
He's from Liverpool. We've got plenty of them.
But with both managers, some of the stuff it tells you a lot about what it's like in the inside of a football club, when you actually hear them in the dressing room trying to get their players going, which is very rare.
Carl Robinson's one is great. To be fair, his team talk got me pumped up.
There was a team talk where he was sending them out for the second half, and he was. I was
in the shop like, fucking, I'm gonna smash this bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
Walk into that fucking doctor's surgery.
He was. They'd won a game and he still ripped them to shreds. They win a game and he tears into them because it wasn't the standard. They were winning at half time and it wasn't the standard he expects of Oxford.
Sounds like me on FM.
I give team talks. I'm brilliant. But Moment of Truth, it's on BBC Sounds.
Did you just say I give team talks? I'm brilliant.
Yeah. My team talks always work. Yeah, trust me. On Football Manager.
Well, if we're recommending podcasts, then I've got 2 to recommend.
Go for it.
The first one is called The Men's Room. It's done on TalkSport. But this is actually really good. Apologies to any of our lady listeners, but you can listen to this as well. It's basically the taboo subjects that men normally don't openly discuss.
All right,
so you've got everything from masculinity to men that suffer from domestic abuse, to fatherhood, to dating and relationships. It's just a man's perspective of the world. It's really good. And the other one that will really give you a giggle is My Dad Wrote a Porno, which is absolutely outstanding. Some guy's dad wrote the worst porno ever in history, and him and his friends got together to critique it. It's wonderful.
They read sections out and then tear it apart. And Dad loves it, and they've actually done a tour. They've been on tour twice, 2 or 3 times already, and Dad has been on tour with them because he made an appearance.
They've been on tour.
Podcast. Oh, Dan, podcast tour now. Podcast tour.
Oh, I'm aware. I am an avid listener.
And
Peter
Dad
Crouch
Wrote a
and Tailenders.
But Dad Wrote a Porno is one of the highest ranking podcasts in the country, bar none. It's up there. It's not a little known podcast. They have famous
millions. People on there.
Yeah, they are really well followed. If you like your comedy,
but they haven't. They haven't released a drink.
No,
they haven't released a lout, have they?
Lout. Another podcast I'm going to recommend is Richard Herring. If you love your comedy, Richard Herring is a comedian. He's not a brilliant comedian, but he gets guests on his show that he does from. He usually does it from Leicester Square, but theatre. But the level of comedian, it's the highest level of comedian you can get, and the way he interviews him is very. It's quite funny. It's very funny. He's funnier interviewing than he is as a comedian. I don't find him funny as a comedian, but and there's another one. It's a political
podcast.
Peter Crouch is a given, isn't it?
Past the pod.
Past the pod, yeah. Crouchy's podcast. There's a political one. There's a guy, and I'm trying to remember his name. I'm trying to find it. He's a comedian, and he's also very political. It's called The Political Party. Matt Ford, and he interviews politicians, and the interviews are really good because you learn a lot. They're quite funny. And he had the Speaker of the House on this week, and we interviewed Gary Neville a few weeks ago. Gary Neville being a raging Labour supporter.
I've not noticed.
You can tell by that on Twitter.
Yeah. Anyway, Dan, have you got any podcasts to recommend other than Peter Crouch podcast? Because I think you've
football. Does it have to be football?
No.
I mean, cricket. If
Yes.
you can deal with people playing guitars in the background, then listen to Tailenders.
Another cricket one is Zero Ducks Given. Toby Tarrant, Neil, it's Toby Tarrant, Daniel Norcross, and Steve Finn. Brilliant. I love it.
Tailenders is a go-to. What else do I listen to? If you like NFL, there's PFF. They're not funny. They just tell you the truth.
I've not listened to any NFL podcasts, but I think I'm going to need to this year, aren't I, Dan?
First special shout to Total Bollocks.
Yeah, thank you.
If you're listening to this, go and listen to Total Bollocks and listen about what genitals an ostrich has.
It's not genitals, it's a cloaca.
It's a cloaca. Yeah. Oh, you've listened. We've only done 3. There are only 3 so far. We're just trying to come up with a date in the next 2 weeks, so where we can sit down and record another one.
And be careful not to sit on your balls.
Ball. The only problem we have is the air spotting member of the team is very busy at the moment, and trying to get him time down. We were looking at doing one Friday night, but we can't. So it's going to be latter part of next week. Hopefully, we'll record something.
I will be shouting nerd.
But you quite enjoy that, don't you? Because it's
so
random.
It's so bonkers.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to know how to run an ostrich farm,
it's the show.
You've got the details.
Well, that was the first one. The first.
If you'd like to know, you've had COVID over Christmas, and
and how badly
everyone got.
Yeah,
it's there.
And
as Ryan said, if you want to learn about how old people sit on their bollocks,
that's
covered too.
Another thing, we've got some subjects. We've got a list of subjects we want to cover. We're not allowed to cover religion because one member of the team says I'm not getting involved in that bollocks.
What were you trying to get into space? There was a big conversation about what you were trying to
William Shatner.
What was it?
William Shatner. I was inspired. Yeah, I don't want to go in space. Yeah, the reasons why I don't want to go in space because, I'm not. If I can't sleep on a bed laying down, I'm not having it.
And you got to make sure your fence is big enough, otherwise the ostrich will jump over and escape.
Yeah, well, they are big buggers, and they've got a very long stride.
Can't get a 5-foot fence.
And I quite liked.
And a cloaca.
My thought was how you go about collecting a semen sample from a male ostrich on a 4x4.
The best thing about it is you and Kev carry on the conversation, and obviously Dave is not enjoying the conversation.
Well, no, Dave goes quiet because he doesn't understand what's just happened, and then you hear the penny drop. That's the glorious thing.
To be honest, half of us listening don't understand what's going on either. It's just
that's the magic about it.
That's the magic of it.
There is on the last one we did. There was a joke, and Dave's looking at us, and we can see him on Zoom because he's looking at us, and we said we'll come back to you on that one. We said something like, "Oh, we hasn't quite got that yet," and Dave said,
and he started giggling about a minute later.
We moved on. 2 minutes later, we heard giggling, and we went, "Oh, it's dropped. It's there. He's got it." So, I think that was relating to my bollock arrangements, possibly.
So yeah, tune into 3 old bastards talking bollocks.
Total Bollocks. It's called Total Bollocks, and I am quite proud of it. We've only done 3 because they are special, and we have to be in the right frame of mind to do it, and we have to be available. And if you want to suggest a topic, go for it, because we're always looking.
3 old bastards.
It's a fair comment because, I mean, Dave's a lot younger than me and Porch. Porchy and I are the older 2, and Dave's the young one compared to us, really. But as long as I've known Dave, he's been
not
an old man.
I mean.
As long as I've known Dave, he's been an old man in a young man's skin. So yeah, he's quite at home with.
Well, you're just an old
I'm
bastard
sorry,
and
you
an old
can't call
bastard
him a
skin.
young man anymore.
But
Jesus
well, he's
Christ.
younger than us. So, but the idea is, yeah, he
Well, you
hosts
two.
it. He hosts it because he's not that funny. If I'm honest.
Well, that explains who hosts this show. Hey!
And on that bombshell, I think we should draw a line under this shenanigan now. We'll be back in a week's time. We're going to look at the Ryan's going to be buggered on this one. We're going to be looking at the EFL.
Yeah, but
Well, to
last
be
year
fair,
we said
yeah,
that, and then he fucking pulled it off.
He did.
Shit house.
Yeah, he shithoused us, didn't he?
I researched.
Apart from League Two, he didn't even look at it.
Yeah,
he just
I
looked at
didn't
League
look
Two
that
and went,
far down.
"I ain't doing that one."
So we'll look at the English EFL next week, and then we'll do our predictions the week after, about a week before, first week of the season. Should we do our predictions or a week before? It's not far off now, is it? Really?
No, it's not actually.
It's 2 weekends away. That's why I decided to do it now, so that we could get the Premier League and the Football League
So
out.
we'll do this one, we'll do the next one, and then the one after that we'll do our predictions, and then we'll look ahead to the weekend's fixtures.
Stay tuned in to find
And
out if Ronaldo stays.
And then I'm on holiday, so the week after that, you two can do it because I'm fucking off.
Well, we'll have to get somebody in to help us, I suspect. We'll think about that one, Ryan, won't we? We'll think about that.
Yeah.
Say good night, Ryan.
Good night, Ryan.
Say good night, Dan.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, Pete.